Tonight on Western Sports Roundup, we will catch up with that man right there who just went through maybe the most intense few days a man could go through at the Lazy E Arena. Taylor Santos, the Cinch Timed Event Champion, joins us in the studio.
And from that champion to maybe a future champion in the world of rodeo, it's Resistol Rookie Tuesday, and we're going to visit with breakaway roper Kirby Rawlinson. She's had a strong start to her season so far, and we're going to talk about that climb to number 2 in the rookie standings and the top 20 in the world.
And we'll take you to the southern part of the state to Rodeo Houston as they continue with Super Series 3 tonight, and we will also tell you what happened a night ago. You'll watch all of that on Western Sports Roundup.
That's a national finals bucking horse, and the man that won round 1, he was 85.5 in round 1 on freshman 15, and this welcome delivery from the Calgary Stampede puts up big numbers everywhere. How about 88 points in the best ride we've seen so far?
Well, good evening, everybody. It is what a quote-unquote turned-up Tuesday it is going to be. I'm Corey Keith. That is Katie Lucas. You get the 2 Ks with us here today. So
K squared. Yeah,
K
good,
squared.
Good to see you, too.
Is that what I'm supposed to say?
I think so. I think it works.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can say whatever you want, though.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say congratulations to the round 2 champions of Super Series 3 at Rodeo Houston. We've got actually a repeat champion that we're starting off with. Bradley Miller goes back-to-back go-rounds at Rodeo Houston, kind of just down the road from where he lives. I think a pretty special place for him. But yesterday, or last night, pardon me, was on Calgary Stampede's welcome delivery, 88 points. You heard it just a moment ago, one of the highest scores we've seen so far at Houston.
You know, I love Calgary Stampede. That might be one of my favorite horses on their trailer. That horse always has a great trip, and obviously Bradley Miller proves it to be true. 88 points is what he totaled up. But how about steer wrestling? Here's a man that really wants to get back into the swing of things, you might say. He finished second at this rodeo a season ago, but he wants to take home the title. Yeah,
you can bet he's been thinking about this one all season long. Holden Myers won the go-round last night. Also caught a small check in round 1 with surprisingly a 14.4 second run. You just don't know, Corey, what's going to happen at Rodeo Houston. I cannot say this enough. It is a football field out there. A lot of variables in the timed event side of things, and the guys that were able to battle through those variables the best last night, Bubba Bucklew and Cole Curry, they were also third in round 1, so they've been picking up checks here at Rodeo Houston, and they've got a great shot to move on if they pick up another little one tonight.
Well, you know, we've seen this time and time again at Rodeo Houston. This changes the world standings when it's all said and done. These guys are just inside the top 40 in the world. They really need to get something going before that summer run hits. I know it's early, but you got to start right now. And how about saddle bronc riding? We actually have a tie. Jake Finlay from Australia, a former Ram National Circuit champion. That's what it was called back when he won it. But they are going to put together 86 points, as well as the #1 bronc rider in the world.
Yeah, the pair of them also on Calgary Stampede horses. Frontier Acres for Jake Finlay, Annual News for Rusty Wright. Jake has also picked up a couple paychecks there, had a good one on night 1, gets the split win on night number 2. These guys are set up for success. And same story with Corey Solomon. He made a great run last night. Corey Keith, when I talk about all the variables there at Rodeo Houston, Corey Solomon eliminated a lot of those with this really good, smooth run. He made 8 flat look easy in Houston.
Yes, as he should. He's a veteran, 10 trips to the NFR, trying to make trip number 11 later this December. Currently number 38 in the world standings, and still has some time left to make it through to the next go-round. But how about breakaway roping? This cowgirl right here has just really been impressive this season. Aspen Miller, she's currently number 14 in the world standings, 2.9 to stop the clock. Pretty cool moment for the Sam Houston State grad in Houston.
She's been a standout to me for the last couple years. I feel like we really started to notice Aspen Miller last year. She qualifies for the National Finals of breakaway roping and just seems to be settling into her career in a really great way. In the barrel racing end of things, Emily Beisel was back at it again on a great Palomino horse. Chewy had been off since round 10 of the National Finals Rodeo. Last night was first night back for Chewy, or 2 nights ago, pardon me, and had a lot of success in Houston. Safe to say, Chewy really likes it there.
I think Chewy really likes Houston, and I think Emily knows that, and of course it pays off. She's number 7 in the world right now. She has the horsepower this season that could take her to a world. Yeah, she has all of the horsepower, I think. She might have the fullest trailer of all the cowgirls up and down the road. But bull riding, it's been a little tough.
Yeah, last night was a little tough for our bull riders. You could say that again. You know, we saw a couple near rides, but ultimately the bulls won. No qualified rides last night. We saw some qualified rides on night number 1, so we've got some earnings so far in the bull riding. As we look at the leaders, Cooper James was your champion in night number 1, so he remains in the lead at $3,000. But you see people like Emily Beisel, she's been stacking up some money. Bradley Miller as well with those back-to-back go-round wins.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It says Buckaloo and Curry and Terrion Graves also 4,000 the team roping. I think that's pretty impressive with the lineup of team ropers that they have at Rodeo Houston. But stick around. Right after Western Sports Roundup, we will go right in to round 3 of Super Series 3 of Rodeo Houston, and you will not want to miss any of the action.
Yeah, I feel like the last day of these Super Series almost feels like a wild card day to me, because you've got contestants that have a shot with a go-round win to move into the top 4, and then others that are trying to hold off the other competitors. So round 3 is always one to watch out for in this Super Series. But here's a cowgirl you need to watch out for on the scene in 2026. Kirby Rawlinson is one of the most promising rookies that we have seen this rodeo season in the breakaway roping, and we're going to get to know her a little bit more next.
And a man that had to watch the Cinch Timed Event Championship for the last 2 seasons on the sideline finally got back in the saddle and takes home the title. Taylor Santos is coming up a little bit later on Western Sports Roundup.
Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of the PRCA and cowboys everywhere. Brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in rock and roll denim.
There's the knot. There's the shot. There is no problem. What about 1.7 on that run?
Well, there is Kirby Rawlinson going to work there, showing us exactly why she's climbed to number 2 in the rookie standings, number 18 in the WPRA World Standings. Welcome back to Western Sports Roundup. I'm Katie Lucas here with Corey Keith, and we're going to bring in Kirby Rawlinson to talk about the great season she's had so far in her rookie year. Kirby, congrats on the success thus far, but you told me there's one rodeo that is really standing out for you in your rookie season.
Yes, ma'am. I think the best one so far has been Houston, as far as the setup and everything. As far as the other ones, Fort Worth and San Antonio, they've been a lot of fun as far as the fast setups, but as far as running one down and going to catch one, I think that one's been my favorite.
So we're looking at your run from Houston right now. Obviously, you just kind of mentioned the setup's a little bit different. Those calves kind of get out there and get started. You've made it through your set at Houston, so you will be advancing on. But I kind of want to look back on that replay from San Antonio, because there is someone in that box that is cheering you on, hands raised after that catch. Tell us a little bit about that support system that you have already this season.
So that is my stepdad, Chase Burleson. He is, been my hero and been standing behind me from day one. It doesn't matter what the setup is or, what the circumstance is. If I just have to go catch one, he always is back there, is calming me down, telling me what I need to do, and, just giving me the pump up.
And the support system doesn't end there. Stephanie Brahman is your traveling partner, and you two kind of have a fun backstory. You've known Stephanie since you were a little kid and she was driving you to school.
Yes, ma'am. She's like a mom to me. I mean, we've gone back a long time, and she's been there to support me too and let me ride some of her great horses. She's just awesome.
You know, I always love asking rookies about the horsepower because that's a big part of professional rodeo. And a lot of people ride maybe a horse that's newer to them in their first season on the road, but not you. You have a horse that's been with you almost since day one. Tell us a little bit about that great horse you call Spud.
He is a 17-year-old gelding. He's been, my old faithful for forever. He's awesome. He gives his heart to me every time. He's better in, short setups as far as if, I have to go down there and run one, he can get a little tight on me, but we know each other in and out, and, he's my everything.
So tell us, how long have you been roping on that horse?
I've been roping on that horse since 8th grade. I got him as a 4-year-old when I was in 8th grade.
Obviously a great partnership right there, but you can't get through a rodeo season typically on just one horse. And you said Stephanie's horse, Lucy, has been a real lifesaver for you when it comes to those longer setups like we saw at Rodeo Houston. Tell me a little bit about Lucy and how you're able to get along so well with both horses.
Man, Lucy, she's an awesome mare. She's real strong. She gives you her all. She's real powerful, and she never takes your throw away. It doesn't matter if you're in a long setup or a short setup. She's gonna do it, what she thinks is best for you. She's amazing. I don't have words for her. She's just every tool that you could ask out of a horse. She's one of them.
You know, Kirby, you've already kind of been a part of history, especially in the state of Texas. I'm going to step back in time for just a moment, back to the high school days. One of the only all-girl teams ever to qualify to the National High School Finals Rodeo in the team roping. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
That was, one of my highlight of my careers. Honestly, I blew my knee out the first day of the state finals. My senior year, we were there, and I thought about maybe going home, and I was like, I've worked my butt off this whole year, and I'm not giving up. And we ended up roping our first year, and it took a little edge off me. I was hurting so bad, but they take my leg up, and we went to the next 2 rounds and made it to the short round, and we made a great run, and they told us that we ended up 4th to make it to nationals. And I mean, if it wasn't for Riley Smith behind me all year, getting the 2 feet behind me, I mean, I couldn't do it without her also.
You had to battle just to persevere in that situation. How have you looked back on that moment and really used it to propel you into your pro rodeo career? You had to have built a lot of confidence in you.
I think when I blew my knee out and with all the pain and stuff, I knew I've always been raised, you don't give up no matter what the circumstances are. And, looking now, we ended up your rookie year. It can be tough. It can be, stressful in that, but, I've worked my butt off every year. I mean, through the practice pen every day, riding young horses and trekking calves around. And I just try to have a good mental game and, just stay strong.
With the success that you had early on in the team roping game, did you ever wonder if maybe you'd hang up the breakaway rope and focus on the team roping?
With the breakaway being so big, I never thought I would hang it up, but I'm glad I'm getting back to roping breakaway again, because I mean, this changed my life literally.
Well, you're having a pretty incredible experience so far, but I want to know, just because I was kind of a superstitious guy in high school. I always had to have a Dr. Pepper on game day before I pitched. So do you have a superstition that you have to follow on days you're going to rope? Is there something you have to do?
No. I mean, I like to pray before every run, and I like to rope the hay bale a couple times before, but, other than that, I don't.
You said Rodeo Houston has been one of the most exciting and fun experiences you've had so far. And because of your success, you moved on at number 2 in your bracket there behind the legend, Jackie Crawford. Because of that, you get to compete again at Rodeo Houston. Give us a little preview for that semifinals, and how excited are we to get back inside Energy Stadium?
I'm so excited. I'm very blessed to be, back to Houston. I am gonna probably ride Spud this set. just because, you know, you're going to have to be, you know, a lot more on the barrier and have to be a little quicker. The calves are supposed to be really good. They're supposed to take the, you know, the top 10 best calves back. So I'm looking forward to it, and, you know, we're just going to do the best we can.
I think that's all you can do, and hopefully get through Houston and win Houston, and maybe you could take over that #1 spot in Resistol Rookie and maybe even #1 in the world.
We're looking forward to it. We're going to give it all we can.
Well, Kirby, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck at Rodeo Houston.
Thank y'all for all you do. I mean, if it wasn't for y'all to, you know, put all the rodeos out there, and for my sponsors and all for my family members, I'm blessed for y'all. Thank you so much.
Hey, and Kirby, we couldn't do it without you and the great performances that you have been having over the last bit of the season here. Congratulations on all the success so far. That is Kirby Rawlinson, one of our really exciting rookies that we're looking forward to, Corey, this year in 2026. She is deep in the battle for that Resistol Rookie title, but there's a guy that's already won his Cinch Timed Event title for the second time. Taylor Santos, he will be in studio. Welcome back to Western Sports Roundup. The Ironman is the epitome of what it means to be a true cowboy, both in and out of the arena. When you can show off your skills in 5 different events at the Cinch Timed Event Championship, there is no doubt that you truly are a cowboy. And we've brought the Ironman for 2026 into our Cowboy Channel studios. Taylor Santos, now for the second time, you have been crowned the top cowboy of them all at the Ironman. You're wearing the buckle today. That's one that gives you a lot of pride.
It is, yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so great to have you. I really want to break it down, but you told me the competition there is a blur.
It is, yeah. It happens pretty fast. You know, over 3 days and 5 purse and running 25 head and having to be able to switch so fast from a game plan on a heading steer versus a game plan on a calf rope and calf and all the way through. So yeah, it's quite the deal.
Tell me a little bit about how you prepare for the timed event. It's got to be really hard to split your mind that many ways and really hard on your body as you prepare.
Absolutely, yeah. The first few years I got to go, I was lucky my brother was going too, and so we would practice for it for, you know, months before. And this year, Riley Wakefield came down. His girlfriend, Jenna, was up at Fort Worth, and so they ended up plugging in, and we went at it for a month. But it was so good to do it that way, to be able to do all 5 events every day. We shoot dogged instead of bulldogged, but we kept the bulldog and steers ran up with all the cattle. So if you were team roping or calf roping, you just have to step off and shoot dog one, and really help kind of get your mind ready for that competition.
Yeah, we kind of laughed about that. You used to go a little more full contact to prepare for the steer wrestling, but why has it helped you, I think, both physically and mentally, to just shoot dog your steers? Yeah,
it just seems like that gets your body in shape, kind of gets your knees and your hips and your core ready for it. But yeah, it's not too many full contact runs anymore.
And that is for good reason. You have been through the ringer to get back to where you are now. For anyone that doesn't know the story, give us a little perspective of what the last couple years have been like for you.
Absolutely, yeah. My hips had started bothering me in 21 at the NFR, and I tried to rope calves for a couple years, and it just wasn't, I wasn't competing at the level that I wanted to, or that I thought I was capable of. And so I started going to Tandy, and we got some imaging and stuff, and had both hips done in 24. Dr. Bird in Nashville, who did Shad's hip surgery and Cody McCartney's hip surgery, and he's the orthopedic surgeon for the Tennessee Titans, and literally wrote a book on the surgery that we had. And the whole time going to physical therapy in De Leon with Brad Bettis, and then Tandy ended up fixing my meniscus in my right knee in January 25, a week after our baby boy was born. So, I mean, just a crazy story, and so good to compete at a high level again.
This comeback has been a long time coming for you. I'm sure there were many days where maybe it didn't feel worth it, but you had this buckle, this championship in mind as you were preparing to come back, didn't you?
Definitely, and my wife's such a saint. I mean, she was such a big part of it, of, you know, the power of the tongue and speaking positivity over your health and your body, and we talked about it a lot on what level that I thought we could compete again. And our main thing was just that we didn't want to have any what ifs or regrets, that we didn't give it our all, and to be able to show our boy how to persevere and battle adversity if it's something your heart really desires.
When you won this title the first time, you were a young single man. Now you had your boy there, and the video that popped up online I think was so special, really kind of brings a tear to your eye, because one of the first things you said was, "Where's my boy?" Tell us a little bit about this emotion you're feeling right here.
Yeah, there's so much emotion. The first time it was so special to share it with my brother and my mom, and my grandpa Frank was alive, and now, you know, this time just can't hardly put it into words, but I mean, Bo's middle name is Frank, and so that's his great granddad's namesake, and my grandpa, and so to share it with Jordan and Bo, very emotional night and very special night for our family that we'll cherish forever.
Of course, rodeo fans will know that Jordan's maiden name comes with a little bit of extra pressure when it comes to the timed event too. Tell us a little bit about that connection.
Absolutely, yeah. The Tierneys have 8, and I added 2, and yeah, it's so special and so cool. I mean, last summer I wasn't really back roping calves, mainly tripping, and so we actually based out of Oral, South Dakota, her parents' place, and so they truly are the Ironman family, because last summer I'd be gone rodeo and get back for 2 or 3 days, and Paul'd have me head some for him, heel some for him. We'd rope calves, we'd trip steers, and so it's a lifestyle, and yeah, that event's awesome. It's such a family-oriented event too, and just such a cool deal.
Let's talk a little bit about your competition. We were kind of saying before we started here, we saw a lot of preparation, especially from the newbies to the timed event. There were a lot of guys that put a lot of work into this competition this year.
Absolutely. I mean, for the past couple months, you know, at all the steer opens, Coleman Proctor's been coming up and showing me calf roping and bulldogging runs, and got to see Wesley Thorpe at some steer roping jackpots, and Riley Wakefield, we took him down to Cody Lee's for a steer roping jackpot. So just to see those guys that you see on the Cowboy Channel doing one event, to see them diversify and
put the work in.
Put the work in, and I mean, it's sweat equity. I mean, there's some blood, sweat, and tears to get to that level, and so impressive. I mean, so much respect for those guys to figure all 5 events out and compete at a high level.
We just saw the final results for the top 5 there. Coleman Proctor made the top 5. I know that's something he's so proud of, but Ketch Kelton, close behind you, 2.8 seconds. When we talk about 25 runs, 2.8 seconds is just the blink of an eye at the timed event.
Absolutely, and I mean, to me, one of the best compliments you can get is as being a heck of a cowboy, and Ketch Kelton is a heck of a cowboy, and he has been for a long time. I mean, I've paid attention whenever he made the short round at the high school finals in every event, including the cow horse.
You knew it was coming.
Absolutely, and he's proved it, winning the junior Ironman twice, winning the Ironman last year, and winning second this year. My hat's off. He's a complete cowboy in the total package.
When you think about everything that had to come together to get this particular title, the family that you've built, all of the hours and hours of time that went back into rehabbing and preparing for this, the competition that you had to go up against, what does this one mean to you?
It means so much, and like Wayne says about the memories lasting a lifetime, even though the money you'll spend and the buckles will tarnish, and there's no truer thing about this, because even though it'll be a great financial thing for our family, our young family, but just being able to have the pictures and the videos to show Bo whenever he grows up, and just cherish this for a lifetime.
Yeah, well, you certainly made it memorable this year. Congratulations once again, Taylor. Very well deserved.
Thank you so much.
You're now a 2-time Ironman champion, the Cinch Timed Event Championship for 2026. Taylor Santos is your champion, but there's a new event coming to Red Deer, Alberta that is ready to crown some first-time championships. We're going to tell you all about the rodeo in Well, rodeo has deep roots in the city of Red Deer, Alberta. From 1965, it was a famous throwback to the silver buckle that so many rodeo contestants still remember and covet to this day. And It had some time at the Canadian Finals Rodeo for 6 years, a great event that they hosted there at Westerner Park in Red Deer, but then it's been a little quiet in Westerner Park for the last couple years until 2026. To tell us about a brand new rodeo coming to Red Deer, Alberta, Tanner Girletz joins us now, Canadian champion bull rider, CPRA Cowboy of the Year. Tanner, I know this rodeo is one you're excited to bring back to Red Deer.
Yeah, it's the people at Westerner Park. They reached out last fall, or we kind of started working on it almost a year and a half ago, I guess. Now we're going to do an outdoor rodeo, and then they kind of changed their mind and they wanted to go indoors, and we decided if we're going to use the Centrum and go big, we might as well have a tour rodeo. So it's super exciting. The people of Red Deer and Red Deer County and the surrounding towns, when the CFR was there by the end, the CFR had really taken hold in Red Deer, and we were getting a ton of people. And for it just to go lay dormant with a building like that, so easy to access and being familiar with rodeo, it made sense to have a good big spring kickoff rodeo up here in Canada.
Tanner, I've been to Canada once last summer to the Ponoka Stampede, but there's something about the people of Canada, especially in the surrounding area, because I know it's close by. They love this sport of rodeo. And what's the vibes right now with just the feelers that you guys have put out with the fans?
The fans have been crazy. They had a Skidroring event at Westerner Park last weekend, and they filled it up to the roof. Anything equine related or horse related, or Western sports in Canada since COVID and Yellowstone, I think it's kind of nationwide, even across the line down there. It's really, really exploded, and the people just love coming to watch it, and it's something that you don't get to see. And anymore with the production and stuff that goes into these rodeos, it's not just your run-of-the-mill announcer and contestant. There's lots of other shows and action going on with the rodeos. So it's a nice little weekend out for families close by, and if they can come down to the rodeo, and I'm sure it's going to be something that they've never seen before. There's none to the same, so it's always something new.
So that's what the fans can look forward to, but you tell me contestants can look forward to a huge weekend with not one but 2 Pro Tour rodeos happening in Canada. Why is that so important and should be so exciting for rodeo contestants?
Well, I think anytime you have a chance to come to Central Alberta, especially like Buffalo Lake is on the same weekend, and they had 9,000 or 10,000 as well, and it's 3 hours apart. So if you can come up and drive 3 hours back and forth to each rodeo and have a chance to win in between, you win them rodeos, you're gonna win $4,000 or $5,000. It's a pretty good opportunity to get a big step in the right direction. And as anyone who follows rodeo know, every dollar counts. So if you can get a head start right off the bat, and makes your summers and fall a little bit easier and not have to hit the road so hard at the end.
I want to break something else down too, and Tanner, you can help me with this, but the equal money. So as far as Americans coming up to Canada to compete at this rodeo, all the money that they win, the dollar amount, it counts towards professional rodeo and to qualify them not only to the Canadian Finals, but to the National Finals Rodeo. That correct?
That's correct. Yeah, a dollar's a dollar, and thank goodness, because the dollar is not very strong at the moment. It's a pretty big exchange going back and forth, but yeah, a dollar's a dollar, and we have a ton of great rodeos up here through the summer. But like I said, if you can come up here for a couple of weeks, the following weekend is Grand Prairie, and it's another tour rodeo, and then it rolls right into Sundre, Wainwright, all them. So I mean, if you're a young guy wanting to go and don't want to compete with all the wolves down there and want to come up and contend with a handful of wolves, I think Canada's your place to go. And like you said earlier, a dollar's a dollar. So come up here and win 30,000. It's still 30,000 toward the NFR.
Well, I don't know. I think there's wolves all across the board, no matter what side of the border you are on, just in my experience. And I think Katie would allude to that too. But Hey, I don't want to send them down this trail, but I'm going to. Tell us what goes in to producing an event like this, because the contestants sometimes take this for granted. They think these events just pop up and happen, but I want them to appreciate what you guys are doing for them, because that weekend in May, there's really not much else going on, so it could be a big opportunity. So what all you guys been doing behind the scenes to make sure this is going to happen?
The committee and myself, we're doing all of it. So everything from dirt and steel to tickets to liquors, all the beer and concession, all the outfitting, all the swag. It's everything. I think I'd like to see a rule one day. I know it's impossible, but it'd be nice to see a rule that to buy a PRCA or a CPRA card, you had to sit on a committee for 1 year and just see what goes into these rodeos. Everything from garbage cans being set in the right spots to, pyro and lighting and all the announcers and music, all the stuff that goes into it. There's a checklist a mile long, and most committees are a handful of people, and that list continues to be a mile long no matter how you split it up.
Hey, you keep wishing. I think your wish might come true one of these days. I don't know. I would vote for it.
Tanner, there is so much that goes into making these rodeos happen, just like you said. I think there's kind of a sentimental element that you could be bringing to this rodeo in 2026. I mentioned right off the top, there was that famous silver buckle that you got awarded if you won the Red Deer Rodeo. And you told me that rodeo happened from 1965 into the early 2000s. It's actually the buckle that I wore as a kid growing up because I loved that red emblem in the middle there. You're bringing it back for 2026 too. That makes it extra special.
Yeah, we got Troy Fisher Silverworks to build us some buckles, and they're kind of a throwback to the old one. They're not the exact same as the old silver buckles, but they are a throwback, and they have some similarities, so everyone will get the gist of it. And I think, like you said, Katie, I think every one of us that was kids that had a father that or a mom that rodeoed and won the silver buckle, I think every kid in the world had one of them buckles on. I wore one, my sister wore one, and then I actually won it in the steer riding one time, and my son used to wear it. Now he doesn't. He's got his own now, but he wore my steer riding one for a long time too. So yeah, it was a buckle that meant something, and every time he wore it, everyone knew what buckle it was, and there's always a conversation piece that come with it.
Well, Tanner, we sure are excited for you guys, and I hope everything that you have been planning comes to fruition and you get all the contestants in the world and get a big crowd to go along with it.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, and sky's the limit. I think that Red Deer's ready and willing to get bigger and better, and to just crack off a rodeo their first year and become a tour rodeo their first year. I think it kind of shows what they got into it and what they're willing to put into it. So I think this committee and this team is going to build a good one.
Well, thank you so much for giving us the inside scoop. That is Tanner Girletz, Canadian champion bull rider, bringing life back to Red Deer. But stick around. Rodeo Houston continues, and we will give you the inside scoop of Series 3 finale. It is time for our top 3 stories brought to you by Veterison, Clean Treat, and Heel. We had a chance to catch up with a great rookie breakaway roper, Kirby Rawlinson, and how she has set the pace for her rookie season at that quest for the coveted title.
And we got a chance to congratulate and hear from the now 2-time Cinch Timed Event Champion. Taylor Santos joins us in studio. I loved getting the insight into his months-long and really years-long preparation to get back on top at the timed event.
Red Deer, Alberta Rodeo is back this May, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. And they have high hopes of making this event a premier stop in Canada. And hopefully you guys get some tickets to go join them with all the fun festivities.
So that's a rodeo you certainly need to have on your radar. But we've got a few more that are coming up in the little bit nearer future, Corey, that you definitely need to have on your radar as a Cowboy Channel fan. It's hard to believe, but Rodeo Austin is about to kick off.
I cannot believe Rodeo Austin is just around the corner. March 14th through the 28th. Of course, you can watch it all right here live on the Cowboy Channel and keep up with all the action as we continue this Texas swing.
And don't forget, there's another great Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo coming your way as well. This is such a great rodeo series, that we have inside the PRCA. Louisville, Kentucky is coming your way March 13th through 14th, and you can catch it all on Cowboy Channel Plus.
Yeah, and for the contestants, they have added a lot more money this season, so the stakes are higher than ever. But of course, Extreme Bulls as well. Marvelous X-Bull Madness. That is also a great event out in Vernal, Utah, and it's March 13th and 14th, and it will be streaming on the Cowboy Channel Plus. So be sure to get on that subscription and get it up to date so you can keep up with all the action.
Yeah, a lot of rodeo action going on right now. We've got our Texas Swing rodeos that are happening right now, but all kinds of rodeos across our rodeo radar.
Yes, it is. Well, hey, stick around. Rodeo Houston is going to go right into NRG Stadium. On behalf of Katie Lucas, I'm Corey Keith. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday evening in the great state of Texas. You've been watching the Cowboy Channel. Good night, everybody, and God bless.